All right, everybody, welcome back to Birds and Blues Sports. See, look,
Got it. You got it this
I
time.
remember this time. I remember. All right, I am back. I had to take a mini sabbatical for adult things, but I am back. Dan is not with us because he has to work nights this week. But we're gonna get into our usual NFL coverage. I have some things to say this evening that may or may not raise eyebrows for certain people, but we're not going to go there quite yet. We need to build it and build it. We need to get there. We don't want to give everyone the main event immediately. So let's start off with Thursday night football. We have to start off with the nipple marathon.
Yes.
Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears went into Washington and beat the brakes off the Washington Commanders. Justin Fields is second in all of football in touchdown passes. He threw for 280 something yards again. So Pete, do we have the updated counter now?
So last week we left off 242 yards per game was the standard that he needed to continue on this journey, shall we say. And let's just say he lit up the Washington Commanders to the tune of 282 yards. So that, ladies and gentlemen, leaves our boy Jay Fields at a season total of 1,143 yards, leaving 2,857 yards. That equivalates 12 more games left on the docket, 238 per game. So he dropped his average down 4 yards. He is inching closer and closer to that titty milestone. Ray, I know you're debuting the ginger beard this week for those watching on YouTube. All its glory. It's going to look even better when we got Pierce nipples at the end of the season, baby. And you know what? I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say Jay Fields, maybe the last episode of the season, we can live stream the nipple piercing because he's going to hit 4K before we hit the end of the season.
Wow, that's a serious call right there. But
Yeah,
I mean,
as realistic as Fields getting 4K probably is at this point because it is looking better and better. And shout out to Justin Fields because I know you listen to this because there's no other reason why you are all of a sudden performing.
Yep,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely hit his stride. Like he's looking like an actual quarterback these days. But then all of a sudden he has like 1 quarter a game and he looks like the same old Justin Fields where you're like, who is this clown out there? So, yeah, I don't know. I can tell you the unrealistic thing is you're not getting these things pierced on camera if we get there. If we get so
when we get there. Justin Fields right now he's looking like an MVP candidate right now. The way he's
all right, let's not be too like come on.
That's,
an MVP
it's a little much.
Yeah. Let's batten it down because I did say in the text message the other night that can be proven guilty in a court of law. That I heard Tanya Harding had a similar thing. What could happen if Justin Fields gets close to 4K? So watch them knees, baby boy.
Don't put that juju out there. I mean, 11 touchdowns. He's balling out right now. Only 5 interceptions.
Yeah, but he also let's look at what he's done. Right, he's played against 2 of the worst defenses in the league right now, and he's had great games against them. The schedule is not going to get much better for him. Those first 3 games were against actual defenses where he underperformed and looked like the quarterback that we know that he actually is. The last 2 games where he lit it up were against subpar defenses where he could do what he wanted to do. And listen, for his sake, I hope it continues. But I think I know as I am in Giants land, I think Chicago fans are doing the Caleb Williams rain dance right now and praying for a new era of football to begin, led by Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. in Chicago.
Well, yeah, because the Panthers aren't going to win. I mean, the Panthers are atrocious. The actual analysis, I guess, now from this game is the Bears' offense has been really good against bad defenses, and pretty much against bad coaching, too. So it's kind of like which team can score more points. And DJ Moore was just all over Emmanuel Forbes in that Washington secondary. Chase Young looked really, really good though. He looks healthy finally. Fields took some sacks, but the Bears dropped 40 on the Commanders at home. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big win for Chicago. That was their first win in 322 days. So that's just, I mean, they had
for
lost
people in
14.
Chicago, that must feel like an eternity. But
Yeah.
trading for DJ Moore, man, what a complimentary player to throw out there to help with the growth of Justin Fields. I think DJ Moore is an unsung hero in this quest for 4,000. On the other side, Sam Howell looked pretty good. I thought he was slinging the ball. Washington's just Washington right now. I mean,
They're in purgatory.
Yeah, Chase Young's not going to be on that team next year.
No,
but if I was them, I would try to ship him out for picks or get whatever you can for him because he is a presence. And a team looking for edge help, I feel like they would be all over that move. I mean, if I was a GM and someone dangled him out there for maybe a second, third round pick, I would be all over that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. He's a waste of talent on that team. You know, I think what you're seeing is him kind of conserve his body this year, realizing that, you know, if he's going to have a payday next year and he's going to get to where he's got to get to, you can't be that monster on football. His talent is never going to change. People know what he's going to offer, what he's going to bring to the table. So I don't think it's a normal contract year where he has to kind of lay it all out there and, you know, risk the body for the reward. I think people know what you're going to get out of Chase Young. So if I'm him, yeah, I'm playing 50% football. I'm going to get enough done where I get some highlights on tape and I'm going to move on and get paid.
Yeah, not too shabby. Next was the London game, another London game. Jaguars are still in London once again, playing the Buffalo Bills. London is basically a home game for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so they pretty much know how to play there. The Bills struggled in Jackson, Londonville. Very much, I mean, the possibility of the Jaguars being in London is kind of real, in my opinion, because they're having so many issues with their home stadium right now, and they can't sell it out. And it's kind of embarrassing what's happening down there right now, because this is supposed to be a team that should be in the playoff hunt in Jacksonville. They got a stud quarterback, Calvin Ridley. Travis Etienne's a stud. Like, there's talent on this team, and Doug Peterson's a good coach. So I don't know why you're not selling it out. I don't know if it's just because this fan base is just totally fair weather and they don't give a shit anymore. But I mean, the Jaguars just beat the Buffalo Bills. Like, there needs to be more excitement down there in their next home game. But another game for the Bills where they looked a little disjointed. Stephon Diggs had another temper tantrum on the sideline. So very interesting all around game there in London.
Yeah, I mean, I called this. Jet lag is a real thing, and it looked like the Buffalo Bills, they didn't get their bearings until like the third quarter, it felt like. They were just stuck in the mud the entire game. I mean, Jacksonville had an entire week there already. So they were already loaded up. They coming off of a win last week, and they had an entire week to just hang in London. It wasn't like they were traveling or anything like that. It's fresh legs, fresh body, fresh mind. So it wasn't something that I was blindsided by at all. I thought I saw that coming. But yeah, Stephon Diggs, he is not happy over there in Buffalo, especially when they're losing. So that's something to keep your eye on. I do think this week is more of a get right game against the G-men, but I guess we'll get into our predictions a little bit later. But huge win for the Jags. I think I think we can kind of liken the Jacksonville Jaguars to like the Tampa Bay Rays of the major leagues. They get
Fuck
zero.
that motherfucking team. They won as many playoff games as the Yankees did this year. And the Orioles. Fucking fuck them too. Oh, and the Blue Jays. They all won the same amount of playoff games as the Yankees did. Have fun being at home, losers.
So, I mean, when you get a team that makes the playoffs and still can't get a turnout, that waves a red flag. And like I said last week, people are hungry for football over in Europe. And
They are.
Those people are having the time of their lives.
Oh, no, the fans there are crazy. There's a market there. They sell that fucking shit out all the time.
Every week that would be a sellout. Every single time. And I mean, that's pretty awesome to brand extension overseas. So I think that's something to keep in mind, even if they did maybe like a semi-split schedule where they're doing half their home games over there or something like that. But I think this is a game where the Jags needed this win to stay competitive in the South. This doesn't help Buffalo's case competing with Miami, but again, I think this week will be a get right for them, and we'll see what Trevor Lawrence can build off of this for the Jags.
Yeah, I mean, Pete, I think you said a lot there. There's really not much more I can add. In my notes, I literally put the Jags just need to stay in London. It's something about when they show up in that atmosphere, they just play lights out football. You know, it's funny I feel like if you compare tape from them playing in Jacksonville to playing in London, you're looking at two different teams. The offensive line, the defensive line, like everybody just plays a little bit better. It's kind of weird, but and even with that, like I have another note that said Trevor Lawrence is being held back. I think he is a phenomenal quarterback. You look at what he's doing with the football, and a lot of these other teams, you could say like, the quarterback is the problem. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, their team is the problem. I think the team, the atmosphere, where they play, the owner is a problem. I don't think the quarterback is your problem there. He's doing everything you would want a good quarterback to do. So I think there's a slight, theory that you can play off of that Trevor Lawrence is being held back. They're a good team. They just play really bad sometimes. As far as Buffalo goes, I mean, who's the bigger diva there? Like, I know Stephon Diggs has had another outburst, but is there something to that? Are we missing something here where you have an elite level receiver that is just frustrated to all hell? Like, why is this happening? We've seen this is the same guy that when they lost in that playoff game, he stood there on the sideline taking it all in because he knew, I need to get here. I need to get to this moment. And I don't think it's him. I don't see him playing poorly. He's out there doing everything he's supposed to do. Like, I don't know. I don't want to call him just a diva wide receiver just yet. I just think the Bills I just don't think they're a complete team. Like, we keep harping on every week. There's just one of those teams where nothing can get right with them. There's always something. James Cook is not the answer. He's not the running back that they had in the system. As crazy as it was Devin Singletary a really good fit for that system and the plays they call there? It's weird to even say it, but how is James Cook not performing to the level that we expected him to?
They don't run the football. The offense isn't designed to run the football. It doesn't matter who the running back is. The offense is designed around Josh Allen. If they want to run, they'll make him run.
So then why isn't Josh putting up 400 yards a game?
I mean, he can, but it's just.
So what's the problem there? As a quick 3-person analysis here, what is the problem in Buffalo?
I don't know. I don't follow Buffalo enough to give an honest opinion.
Obviously, their quarterback is elite. Obviously, their quarterback is the whole team, but they can't run the ball. They've never been able to run the ball with him. I mean, you call it a coaching problem? I mean, I don't know if I want to call it a coaching problem. I just think that there's sometimes in sports where relationships just don't work out. And I think the Stephon Diggs and the Bills are headed for a divorce.
Now, a question: how did his time? I don't remember. End in Minnesota. Was it kind of like a flame out like this?
It wasn't even really that. I think he internally, if I remember correctly,
I think it was more of his contract was up, and he
yeah, I
verbally
think,
put it out there that he wasn't coming back to Minnesota, and
yeah,
it was time for him.
I think he said to them, he gave them the courtesy, like, I'm not re-signing, like, just, just
Get something for me.
yeah, and they drafted Justin Jefferson, so it's like it doesn't really even matter.
Upgrade.
Yeah, it's probably an upgrade, but I just think there are certain personalities in pro sports, and there are certain examples where when you have two alpha males like Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, who both think they're the focal point of the offense, they're just gonna they're just gonna clash, and you're gonna pick the quarterback over the wide receiver. So I would not be surprised if after this offseason, when there's no longer a dead cap hit for Stephon Diggs' contract, that they trade him. I would not be surprised. I think a divorce is coming. It's not soon due to financial implications, but it's going to happen. That's just me.
I dig it. I think you hit a massive point there with the alpha mentality.
Yeah, my only thing is if they ship out Diggs, who do they have there?
That's the thing.
Gabe Davis. That's it.
You have to be ready to have a backup plan.
Is not a number one, and I don't think they don't have anybody lined up that could step in to fill the void. I mean, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, like those are your guys outside of Gabe Davis. Not a reliable safety net for your star quarterback.
No, not really. Next was a super blowout. Saints in New England. New England is another team in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. I mean, because they can't even do anything. Like they're another one.
Imagine that Bill Belichick somehow finds himself in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes.
He's gonna get fired, or no, he's gonna retire. He's gonna gracefully retire. I just don't think he has it in him anymore. The Patriots have no fucking talent whatsoever. Mac Jones has now been benched twice for multiple pick sixes, multiple turnovers, just not even doing anything. And it's just not good in New England land. I mean, the Saints they did whatever they wanted. And it was so ugly. And I don't got much more to say.
Yeah, you hammered it down. This could be Billy Goat's last hurrah. I don't know if he finds himself somewhere else next year or if he just rides off into the sunset, but this team that they throw out week after week is atrocious, and there is no end in sight to turn anything around over there. The Saints just put a beat down on them. Their Saints defense looked good. Offense was clicking for the most part for what it was, but just a complete drubbing of the New England Patriots.
It was ugly.
Yeah, I mean, and look what happens, right? Derek Carr shouldn't have played last week, but he did. You know, he came back and he looks healthy. He's got all the pieces that the Saints have to offer again. You know, you have Alvin Kamara back. Jimmy Graham is healthy. Michael Thomas is fucking back. I just think it's a great situation for Derek Carr. You know, I know me and Pete are definitely Derek Carr lovers here. I will always have mad respect for the dog. And I like seeing Derek Carr succeed in moments like that. The Patriots, I'm confused by. I don't necessarily think that Bill steps down or retires as a coach per se, because I just don't think that's his kind of personality, right? I don't think he's ever going to get fired, because you're not going to fire the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest coaches of all time, right? He's going to walk away on his own accord. I would even say it makes more sense for him to step into a GM role for a couple of years, right? Maybe if you step down from coaching, go be a GM somewhere. Maybe coaching's not the thing right now. He's got the mindset. He's got the football mind and everything else. He's
Isn't
one of the
he
greatest GMs of all time.
Isn't he already the New England GM?
He
I
pretty
believe
much
he is, right? But look at where New England's at. He knows he's too old to sit there and say, I'm going to be in this rebuild to rebuild this team for the next couple of years. He ain't built for that, right? We all know that Bill ain't built for that. He wants to win now. He's a win now kind of coach. He's a win now kind of guy. Maybe he takes a step back, sees the situation he likes with any of these GM openings, hops in for a few more years, gets one more dub, and rides off into the sunset. Patriots, they fucking suck. There's no player. Ramondre Stevenson is trash. Zeke is old, and like just nothing makes sense there. Like Kendrick Bourne, I just don't. I don't see any direction for that team. And again, like we've said multiple times in this podcast, it's weird for us to be in an era where the Patriots are a bottom feeder franchise. It just like it boggles my mind.
good.
Yeah, good.
Literally, to take Zach's words, New England is a bunch of Walmart greeters.
What would it do to Jets fans if the Patriots had the number 1 pick, and then
their head would fucking explode? I hear Daniel having a seizure right now.
Oh god. Next was Titans Colts in Indy, and Richardson got hurt again, and this is a pretty serious shoulder injury. Probably going to be out for a little while. But Gardner Minshew led them to victory. He's the better pocket passer right now than Richardson. And Richardson's better learn how to slide. You need to learn how to slide, my friend. I understand you're bigger and stronger than 90% of the people on that field, but you need to learn that you're in this for the long haul, not the short ride. So the Titans, unfortunately, just could not get it done against the Colts. Shane Steichen continues to impress, and Jonathan Taylor was back, but the star of this game was Zach Moss. I mean, Zach Moss was doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do on that Tennessee defense and completely led them to victory. So,
yeah. Richardson is going to find himself out of this league if he keeps playing. He's just reckless with his body. He has no body control. He just smashing into whoever he wants to. And he missed a game with a concussion. He's banged up. He's out for at least a month now. And I know we talked about this. Yeah, to have a successful career, you have to be on the field. And right now, he needs to do some serious adjustment of his play style, or else he's going to play himself out of the league with injuries.
Here first. Anthony Richardson will have a shorter career than Cam Newton.
He might.
Cam knew how to protect himself, right? You did not see in Cam's rookie season him have multiple injuries.
All right, no, he didn't have multiple injuries, but Cam Newton was flying all over the field like fucking Superman. He was not taking care of his body. He was not taking care of his body.
Exactly, but that's the point, right? So where Richardson is now was where Cam went downhill.
Yeah, well, it's bad luck. I mean, you don't take care of yourself. Luck? Yeah,
football. Welcome to the big boys club, bro. This ain't college. You have these big dudes hitting you now, and it is going to make a difference. Welcome to the AC joint injury, because now you're out. Now you're on the sideline, and Gardner Minshew is going to ball the fuck out with all those little toys he's got in fucking Indy.
Stop. Gardner Minshew is just a fucking stop. I don't care that he has a fucking mustache or a fucking Billy Goat goatee. I don't care about that. I care about Jonathan Taylor being back. That's going to be great for Indianapolis. He's going to run fucking wild. And guess what? It was a perfect matchup because Derrick Henry, I guess he forgot to listen last week because we didn't.
He must have not tuned in this week.
He couldn't get the episode, so we didn't.
He wrote us up.
Him. And you know what? I hope he's listening now because I'm putting him back in the dirt. It is over for him. He is washed up.
Derek, if you're listening, please, for the love of God, I have you in every league. I need you. Come back, please.
Well, it's not going to happen. And just to ping pong off this, I know we talked about from this point forward, Jonathan Taylor is going to smoke Derrick Henry in stats.
Yes, I think if you zeroed everybody out from zeros to zeros, starting today, if you race the two, I think Jonathan Taylor will finish with more. If you gave me the head start like we discussed,
a 5-week head start. Wait, all right, fine.
Hey, that's all's fair, 11 war, baby boy.
For the listeners of this podcast, I am gonna spot Ray the first 5 weeks of the fucking season, and Jonathan Taylor is still gonna wind up with better stats than Derrick Henry.
There's a hundo on this.
Book it.
Wow, that's pretty serious right there.
Hundo. Yeah, so there we go. Spotted the 5 weeks. I think it's gonna be close. I really do. Because Derrick Henry needs to find Jesus or maybe lose 20 pounds. I don't know what the fuck he's got going on there, but he cannot run. He can throw. Listen, but he can throw tuds. He can fucking throw them. He missed one.
Whatever.
He's 1 for 2 on the year with his touchdown throws, and I dig it because if you ain't gonna be running like Derrick Henry used to be running, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I mean, he looks phenomenal 2 weeks ago, and then last week he's back to running with a fucking fridge on his back. Like, bro, what the fuck? And as far as for Indy, with their running back situation, benched Zack Moss because Jonathan Taylor was back. Ate that one. Zack Moss has pretty much said, oh, Jonathan Taylor's back. Cool. Watch this. And respect.
Well, I still need a backup job somewhere else. So let me make sure to take care
of it. Guess what? I
don't think he's fighting for a backup job right now. I think he's fighting for a starting job right now.
No. Jim Irsay said, here's your $14 million a year, Jonathan Taylor. You're now our starting running back. Zack Moss to the back of the line.
Zack Moss is sitting there going, yeah, cool. I want out of this crazy motherfucker's hen house. I hear some teams need some running back help. Send me. What is that? Psalm 23. And here I say, send me for I am him.
All right, moving on. We had Ravens Steelers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh continues to be a really hard place to play, especially when the Steelers defense shows up at home. Like it's just the Steelers just show up at home, and it was a division game, so it was going to be tough. But I mean, the Ravens, did they just get trapped in the Steel City, or are they a little overrated? So, because I know the Steelers aren't this good, they're just not. But T.J. Watt is that good, and he once again is the reason why they won a football game. And the fact that Kenny Pickett, little as Pete likes to say, Captain
Baby hands,
was the one who called the audible from Matt Canada to throw the game-winning touchdown pass to George Pickens because he said, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Like, it boggles my mind that the Steelers are winning football games. But
did you see the clip of that too?
What?
There's a clip of Matt Canada.
Yeah, the clip is amazing. Where Canada's just like, like that's just like, oh, I guess I was wrong. He sucks. I don't know how the Steelers are winning. You want to know how the Steelers are winning? Because Mike Tomlin's still a great fucking coach. That team still comes every single week and plays hard football. No matter if they're getting their brakes blown off, but whenever they're home in Heinz Field, and I'm calling it Heinz Field to the day I do not breathe anymore. I'm not calling it whatever the fuck they are calling it right now. They're always going to play well there. It's hard to play in Pittsburgh. It just is. Yeah. And I just think, and with the Ravens, you know, Lamar Jackson's getting paid $250 million to have one playoff win and not beat division opponents. When are we going to start not giving him passes anymore? Because he has wide receivers to throw to now. What's the excuse this time?
So here's what I took away from that game, because I picked them for my survivor pools. Me and Pete picked them together in a survivor pool, and it bit us in the ass. So 2 things. I think, Zacko, what you said about Pittsburgh is hands down spot on. I think a big important thing too is let's go back to the TJ Watt factor, because that guy is the epitome of a team captain. And I think it's more than just that. He literally isn't just willing them to win on the field on defense. If you watch him on the sideline, right? And I have those little squirrel moments when I'm watching his games. That motherfucker is pacing the sideline in people's faces, imploring them to do their fucking job and win. Like, that guy's a menace. Imagine having a shitty day on offense. Comes TJ Watts, come get in your face and say, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm doing everything I can to win this fucking game. Step your shit up." Like, that's called motivation. That's called motivating to win.
They don't make him like him no more.
TJ Watt dislocated his finger and tore fucking ligaments in his finger and just continued on. Like, no big deal.
He said, "Give me a glove. Watch this.
I'm not missing a play." Like, dude is one
of one.
And to piggyback off what you said, Zach, Baltimore's not overrated. They're just not good. Like, they're
okay.
Okay. I never expected them to like jump off the page. I mean, to be
so
like
Pete,
elite
I
team.
have in my notes just to wrap up what I was saying, and this is going to lead into you. I actually put in here, Lamar is not a crumb. He's a very good quarterback but needs to be protected. He panics when times are tough and thrives when times are easy. He needs to start playing real football when times get hard and not make stupid mistakes to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, he relies too much on his athleticism, and he relies on his athleticism to bail him out, and that's always been his Achilles heel. He's not a perfect passer. You're not going to get that. We talked about that last week. If you're looking for him to make plays with his arm and lead a team down the field, if you're looking for a 2-minute warning, he's not that guy. They signed him to that contract based off his athleticism to run around and make plays with his legs, not his arm. So, I mean, you know what you're getting in Lamar. I mean, Zay Flowers is a beautiful acquisition for them to help with his progress. But, I mean, everything else, Rashad Bateman dropped 2 touchdown passes in the end zone, which would have been a game difference. OBJ is done, cooked, washed up. Go
be a family man.
Go be a family man. Go get a CBS contract. Go talk on a pregame show. It's over for you, dude. I hope you're listening. I mean, Mike Tomlin on the other side, this is why he still is a head coach, the longest tenured head coach, I'm pretty sure. In the end, maybe not Belichick, but this is why this guy hasn't had a losing record in his coaching career.
Yeah, very much.
Even with little baby hands doing football, he's making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Yeah, basically. Next, we had another blowout. It was Panthers and Lions in Detroit. Lions just beat the fucking shit out of the Panthers. The Panthers are winless. Bryce Young looks overwhelmed. He looks like he doesn't belong. I mean,
he looks like a rookie.
He looks like a rookie. He looks like a rookie, but like, you're the number 1 overall pick. Everyone was saying you're the most NFL ready out of all those quarterbacks, that you were the smartest cat in the room.
I didn't.
Oh, I didn't either. I wasn't believing it. So they obviously, we're not going to give up on him quite yet, but did anyone else see that they had to bring in Andy Dalton to do a QB sneak because he's too tiny to do one?
Mm-hmm.
Can we not draft if you want to draft a quarterback that's 5'10" tall, you reap what you sow. Okay. It's just that simple. You need somebody who's going to be able to see over your offensive fucking line. Okay. It's just that simple, because he's not Drew Brees. There's never going to be another Drew Brees. There's not going to be another Russell Wilson. Like, it's not going to happen anymore. So as a lesson, because man, if they still had that first round pick, they could be one and done with Bryce Young, and they could go ahead and get Caleb Williams, just like the Cardinals did with Josh Rosen and Kyler Murray. But they don't have their first round pick.
Oh man, Josh Rosen, terrible.
Josh Rosen was one of the biggest busts ever, and no one talks about it because he just went away quietly. But the Lions and David Montgomery and Josh Reynolds with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs hurt, they just crush people. I mean, Dan Campbell's a great head coach. That offensive line could hold back a fucking tsunami. Like, it's just insane what Jared Goff can do in there. He could buy a timeshare. He could build a little campsite. He could fucking roast the marshmallow behind that offensive line and then throw it to the wide receiver. So the Lions are good. They're going to win that division, and the Panthers are not it.
Dan Campbell's got that team gassed up. That guy just brings the energy, and they feed off of him. And even with the Sun God, their number one fucking wide receiver, missing a game, Jahmyr Gibbs missing a game, it looked like they had every star that they had, just overwhelming the Panthers. Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive side of the ball was just wreaking havoc. Dude caught an interception like it was no big deal. He is all over the field. Yeah, you said it. Lions are taking that division, and they're making it look easy. Jared Goff, I didn't give him his flowers in the beginning of the year. He's made a believer out of me. I think that he's going to finish top 5 quarterbacks this year, just because of what you said. He has all the time in the world. You just stop, check his watch, have a coffee, and then sling it.
Must be nice.
And also forgot the cheat code, fucking Sam Laporta. Rookie tight ends in this league are not supposed to be good.
Laporta is a freak.
He is making believers. I mean, there's a lot of rookie tight ends taken in this draft with a lot of hype behind him, and he got drafted a lot later than some of them, and he is coming out guns blazing. He statistically is probably top 3 tight end in the league right now, I want to say.
Yeah.
And no end in sight. So that combination of talent, they're playing inspired football. They're going to be a problem.
I mean, I don't even not just inspired football too. Like, they are they are in for a good future. Like, look at all the names you just mentioned, right? Gibbs, Laporta, Hutchinson. These kids are young. This team is stacking the box and just getting better and better and better. Amon-Ra St. Brown, young. You put another good receiver in that core to open it up a little more, and you got some interesting shit going on there. Jameson Williams, I mean, I don't know what the fuck is wrong. He's supposed to be a stud, and he's kind of just a dud.
Bust.
Yeah, he looks like a bust. You know, he could have been something special next to fucking Amon-Ra St. Brown, but here we are, and that's it.
It's his week back, though. First week back, knocking the rust off.
Oh, what? Because you were sitting on your ass for your sports gambling violation, dickhead? Fucking loser, bro. Come on. I mean, listen, I think it's stupid, but if you're going to get caught cheating in the NFL, at least get caught with fucking juice leaking out of your veins saying, I just want to be better, right? To get caught and have to fucking sit on the sidelines because you were fucking on DraftKings betting on your own team, you're a fucking loser. Like, bro, come on. Like,
oh boy.
It just drives me nuts. Like, and then so it's your first week back. Fuck you. Fuck you. You had preseason football. You didn't play last year because you came off of an ACL injury in one of the biggest football games of your life. Everybody was like, yay, we love to see it. Welcome back. This year, fuck you, you fucking dud. Play football. Sorry, rant over.
Damn, that was like personal.
I'm building up. Zach. Just be ready.
Oh, good. You ain't ready. It's that simple.
Is loading.
All right, next we had Texans and Falcons. Desmond Ridder still is undefeated when he plays at home. 28-0 when he plays at home between college and the pros.
Shout out Desmond Ridder, because he must be a follower.
Yeah, you know what? He has to be, because he's garbage. But you know what? There's a lot of talent on the Falcons. They got a good old line. They got weapons on offense, and they got a pretty good young secondary that's stopping people from passing the ball. If they actually had a quarterback there, the Falcons could be a problem. And the fact that they're 3-2 with Desmond Ridder says a lot to me. And the Texans, unfortunately, they scored too fast. They scored too fast at the end there. But CJ Stroud is what does Pete like to say?
He is a dog.
CJ Stroud broke the record for the most career pass attempts without throwing an interception. Broke the NFL record. This kid is just balling out. And it is so impressive to see him do this but you know what? That's a good young coaching staff in D'Amico Ryans. That team shows up and plays hard all the time. They're beating people up. The defense is playing well. The offense, this team doesn't know it's not supposed to win, but I understand they lost this game, but they're playing like they're in every game. They are not an easy out. The turnaround in Houston is a whole lot quicker than we thought it was going to be.
It's the renaissance is now. They've been looking for their franchise quarterback for quite some time, and they found the guy. On the other side of the ball, I just want to talk about a couple things. Desmond Ridder, he is poo-poo caca poo-poo. He balled out in this game. 329 yards and a tud. He looked awesome this game, but he's fucking terrible. The one thing I do want to talk about, the unsung hero of the Atlanta Falcons, is that above head camera view that they've been doing.
So sick. It is so fucking cool.
Thing in football right now is the above head camera view, and now they're doing it with passes too. That little shovel pass that they did with Bijan, and
the
Bijan
fucking move
on arm, and then he skeeted through. Just incredible. That's next level stuff right there. I think every NFL team, like everyone's trying to steal the brotherly shove, the tush push. They should steal this overhead camera thing because it's fucking awesome to watch. D'Amico Ryans in the Texans. I love him as a head coach. I always liked him as a defensive player, but he's coaching the lights out of that team, and very young team, bright future. And that stat, that undefeated at home stat, it's Desmond Ridder, kid. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing keeping him as a starting quarterback right now, is the horseshoe that's stuck up his ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's spot on. I mean, CJ Stroud, he broke the mold officially. Ohio State quarterbacks are not supposed to come out and play this good of football. You know, Zack and I have talked about this for years now. And he looks NFL ready compared to that stinker over in Carolina.
They chose wrong.
Yeah. I mean, they really did. And this goes to show you how, what all these fucking experts think they know and everything like that. Like, CJ's out there just having a good time. And not to say it, like, I think Bryce Young has the better weapons on his team. He really does. Like, CJ Stroud is just not playing with Walmart greeters, but he's playing with fucking, target management. It's like, they're just doing so much better. He's light years ahead. So pick what you want. I mean, it's proofs in the pudding. D'Amico Ryans is a great coach, and the Texans are just playing good football right now. They look like a team that's having fun, right? Forget that whole they don't know they're supposed to be bad. They're just out there like, hey, if we went 0-16 or 16-0 this year, we're just going to go out and have fun and play some football, brothers. And that's what they're doing.
You're right. I agree. All right, you people. I've had enough. Giants, Dolphins. I'm going to talk about the game real quick, and then I'm going to kind of say what I wanted to say last week, and then I'm going to take a big chunk of time right now. Okay. I'm just going to take a nice chunk of time right now.
I'm going to get my candy corns ready for this.
The Giants went into Miami. Predictably, they lost. Everyone and their sister and the blind nuns that you find at Catholic schools knew they were going to lose. No surprises there whatsoever. Everyone's hurt. Everyone fucking sucks. This team is atrocious. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Dolphins really good. Tyreek Hill is not guardable. Jalen Waddle had a good game in his return. Tua Tagovailoa is having a great year under head coach Mike McDaniels, who should be coach of the year, in my opinion. I understand they might give it to Shanahan because the Niners are 5-0, but it should be McDaniels, in my opinion. That's how good he is. But let's talk about something here real quick. So I actually have a quote. I have a quote from this guy right here. And it says, and I quote, Daniel Jones is the main problem of the New York Giants.
Fact.
That is a quote from Raymond. Ray, do you watch football at all?
Hold on. Do you want me to rebut that right now? Because I actually was ready for this. Something in my mind told me that you were going to come at me a little hot today.
Good.
So,
good.
New York Giants 365, right? They posted something today and said, I didn't realize that this was possible. I thought having a weak offensive line meant that you were doomed for failure and there was nothing you could do about it. That's what Giants fans tell me, at least. You, Zachary, have said that multiple times, that the offensive line is a problem and Daniel Jones is not the problem. Well, here's a little something for you there. CJ Stroud, the kid we were just talking about, stats this year with a bottom 5 offensive line. 1,212 yards, 6 tuds, 0 interceptions.
Good.
Come at me.
Guess what? Oh, I'm ready. Don't you worry. So, the main problem of the New York Giants is Daniel Jones, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Here's why you're so wrong. But let me preface this with this. Do I think Daniel Jones is an elite quarterback who is the franchise quarterback now of this football team? No.
Okay.
I do not. Do any of you think he was ever elite ever in his career?
Never.
Okay. I didn't either. Now, was his ceiling possibly top 15 if you put pieces around him? Maybe he'll get you there. Never? Okay, well, he just did that last year with a less team around him. The biggest problem now listen, Daniel Jones has not played well this year, and he deserves blame for the Giants' woes this year. But to say that he is the main problem is so asinine that you need to retire from watching football, because I don't think we're watching the same sport, because the Giants are so badly coached. I don't give the bloom is off the rose for Brian Daboll. He's been walking around this fucking town like he's the president, the mayor, and the CEO after taking the Giants to the playoffs last year and them beating the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota with Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones throwing to, as Pete likes to copy me, Walmart greeters. So they add Darren Waller, who had his best game as a Giant with 86 yards and 8 catches. About fucking time. But guess what? The Giants are nowhere near ready to play any game that they have played this year. They have no interest in playing any game this year. They are not only have the worst offensive line in the history of football through 5 weeks in the NFL. So you want to take that CJ Stroud and Houston Texans stat? Congratulations. It's still nowhere near as bad as this. And you know what? CJ Stroud is probably a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I'll give you that one too. But Daniel Jones is not even close to being the 3 main important problems of this team. Because you know what? What are you going to do? They're not going to be either the Panthers, well, they have the Bears pick. So either the Bears or the Patriots are probably going to get Caleb Williams. So what are you going to do? You're going to get Drake May at 3 or 4. What is Drake May going to do? He's just going to be the Messiah. He's going to come in and he's going to save this team from this shit show horridness that is on the sidelines. And you know what? I put more blame on our lovely, brand new, shiny general manager. How do you pay this fucking guy and then not invest in your offensive line? Say what you want about the contract, because it doesn't matter anymore. Because if you want a new quarterback, you could always get one. You could just sit him like the Eagles did with Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. I don't give a fuck about the contract anymore. How do you not put an offensive line in front of the guy you just paid, in front of the running back you just franchise tagged? How do you do that? Joe Shane is at fault here. And Brian Daboll, Mr. Coach of the Year, we have another Ben McAdoo on our hands here, folks. I'm calling it. This guy has no idea what he's doing anymore. The Giants are horribly coached. They are not competitive. They are not ready to play. And Daniel Jones got sacked 6 more times on Sunday, has whiplash on his neck now, has been sacked 32 times through the first 5 games. Since Ray decided to bring some stuff up, I'm going to bring some stuff up now myself. Let's get this. You ready for this? Andrew Luck played 86 career games before he had to unfortunately retire very early at the age of 30. He had been sacked 174 times in his career in 86 games. Daniel Jones has played 59 games in his career. He has been sacked 177 times. He has been sacked more than Andrew Luck has, and he played 2 less seasons. And Andrew Luck had to retire because he lacerated his kidneys. So, yes, let's put all the blame on this fucking guy. He's the reason why the Giants are horrendous. It's not this brand new head coach who's supposed to be this offensive genius mastermind who has no reason for this team to be this bad at all. They had a worse roster last year. They added talent this year. Do they have elite talent? No, but they should be competing. The Houston Texans are competing. They don't have better skill position players than the Giants, but they're competing. I'm going to have a stroke. Kurt Warner.
Are you done yet? Because I have we have plenty to rebut, but go ahead, continue.
Kurt Warner on social media. Daniel Jones is not playing well this year because he's not. That is a fact. But what quarterback can possibly play at any level whatsoever behind this abomination?
No one.
This coaching staff that is an abomination. I don't know how Bobby Johnson and Thomas McGlanahan, or whatever the fuck his stupid ass name is, have not been fired, because every single offensive lineman that leaves the Giants gets better. And it's been happening year after year after year. So yeah, do I want a new quarterback? Selfishly, as a Giants fan, I would like something new in there. Maybe a new quarterback could give this team some kind of life, because whatever quarterback Daniel Jones was going to be is gone, dead, broken, destroyed. I quote John Mara, I did everything in my power to screw this kid up, because you know what's going to happen? They're going to take a quarterback in this draft next year. It'll be this fucking dumbass Drake May out of North Carolina. They're going to sit Jones for a year. They'll trade him to like Atlanta, and he's going to be a success somewhere else. And that's just what's going to happen, because you know what? He's still a dual threat ability. He has the 3rd most rushing yards out of any quarterback in football right now. And he could win you football games. We've seen him win football games. And he's not making top 10 quarterback money. He's only the 13th highest paid quarterback in all of football. The Giants need to build this team. The quarterback is not the main problem. I want to spend all the free agent money and every single draft pick this team has on nothing but offensive linemen. I want 10 offensive linemen drafted. I want 10 offensive linemen signed, because even with, and you know what? I want a new coach. I want a new special teams coach. I want an offensive line coach. The bloom is off the rose, folks. The Giants come unprepared every Sunday and every national TV game, and have to see this fucking dumb, bald-headed fuck go to the podium and go, well, you know, we didn't play well enough today, and it's all falls on me, and we need to coach better. We need to play better. Okay, you coached well last year with worse. So what's the problem this year? End rant.
Before you hop on, my few takeaways from an outside perspective that's not immersed in the land of the Giants. Last year, Daboll's first year as head coach of the Giants, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Provided somewhat of a new spark for them, and we can say that they overachieved last year in making the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay. They played a Minnesota team that you can argue has shit defense, and Kirk Cousins did play well in that game, but usually we could say that primetime Kirk chokes.
It's the same team we see now. The same team.
So that win in the playoffs padded an overachieving team, and you got bounced in the playoffs after that. So you're riding this high of, oh, we made the playoffs, and when you really weren't a good team to begin with, and to Zach's point, you didn't really do anything. You drafted that Schmitz kid, whatever, but
who's hurt, by the way.
Yeah, well, because they fucking.
I don't care.
Because they did that they never practiced, and they fucking blew 2 O-linemen out in one shot.
That's a fireable offense.
I digress. So you're basically taking a shit sandwich from last year. You sprinkled some seasoning on it. You're like, oh man, this is really great. But at the core of it, it's a shit sandwich that you didn't really get much better. You brought in Darren Waller, who I said was not going to be a difference maker. I said that from day one. And now you're back in this fucking limbo of, oh shit, we just came crashing down to the ground. You got the bald-headed fuck going to the podium every week. You got the stupid fucking googly-eyed quarterback running around for his life. It's a disaster. And I lament with that, because I know what that feels like to deal with the franchise that doesn't fucking do anything right. So again, you need to.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, because that is actually
just start from ground zero.
Exactly, and that is the perfect setup that I wanted for this. Because I will give you this, Zachary. Some of the things you said are completely accurate, and I can't fight most of what you said. But
okay,
but. And what Pete just said is actually spot fucking on, because now let's rewind the clock, right? You want to bring up that fucking piece of shit, Ben McAdoo, and you want to bring up fucking history and culture. Yep. Here's the problem, right? And we could even scoop this into 2 little sandwiches here and include a little baseball in this, because here's a big problem in New York sports culture. New York sports culture was once one of the greatest places to play sports ever. Mm-hmm. Ever. It was a privilege and an honor to come to New York and play sports in the Big Apple, because it meant you fucking made it and you were something. Those fucking, after fucking Tom Coughlin retired, which you might be a little young for, there has been a bad culture in New York City since then. And the Giants have not done anything to fix that. The reason that we have this shit sandwich that Pete talked about is culture. No one wants to come play here. You can't enough money. The last guy you fucking took money and just fucking wrung money at, right? The Patriots offensive lineman. Help me out here. He was a bust.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But I know. I'll pull the. I'll pull.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You can't pay guys to come here because no one wants to play in New York sports. They don't.
Nate
Who?
Solder.
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 Thank
Solder,
Nate Solder.
thank you.
Right. So now you have a problem. Yeah, it is weird. I will give you this. It is weird that linemen leave here and go get better, right? Justin Pugh.
Because the coaching sucks.
It's not Brian Dable's fault. It's not Brian Dable's fault.
Oh my God, I can't.
The reason they performed last year was because of Brian Dable, that spark, because he is a good coach. This year, it is just dog shit. It is dog shit because, yeah, you didn't do anything, right? I will give it to Joe Shane a little bit because I don't understand why, like, how we didn't make improvements to the O-line. But any realistic Giants fan saw this coming. We all said this is going to be the worst season ever because nothing was done. Darren Waller is a pass-catching fucking tight end. He's not a blocking tight end, right? It just nothing got better. Okay, you re-sign Saquon. I don't give a fuck about Saquon anymore, right? Like you said,
he's gone. He's gone.
Spend every cent you have. Get a Walmart greeter as a running back. I don't really give a fuck because New York Giants football will not improve until you build at least a top 20 offensive line.
Yes.
Be 19. Be number 18 or 19. In that fact, I completely agree with you, right? Because I consider Danny Jones one of the worst problems in here because you know what you have. You know you're going to run for your fucking life, right? And I will give you the fact of maybe the coaching is too overconfident in that ability that, you know, we can overcome this, but it's not working, right? So design plays so that this fucking retard back there who is running for his fucking life can actually make competent football plays and play competent football. Because if not, we should go, what's the record right now? 1-4?
1-4.
We should go 1-15. We should go 1-15. Because honestly, what else is there? What else is going to happen, right? It's like we're stuck. Unfortunately, like they're not going to bring in Drake May because you just signed this googly eye. No, you shouldn't be in anything. You should ride this out. You should say, let's shut it the fuck down, right? We are officially in a rebuild. Let Saquon walk. Let everybody fucking go and just say, we're rebuilding, right? And this idiot from Duke is going to lead that fucking rebuild until we can get somebody better in here to actually take the face of the franchise over.
I got no problem with Jones being the bridge now while we build this team. That's no problem whatsoever because this guy has won games for them. He is.
You know what's a beautiful thing? You know it's a beautiful thing?
What?
Guess who's coming, baby? From Texas themselves. Couple years.
Oh, Arch. Oh, God. See, here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Stop that.
It's no. The Giants need to build the team. Now, Daniel Jones is just, we got no fucking choice. Use his skill sets. They paid him because the coach of the year thought that he could win games with him, right? So if Brian Dable is not the problem, like you say, then that means he wanted this quarterback. Because if he didn't,
all of you wanted him. All of you wanted him.
Because they just won a playoff game. He won.
Fraudulent.
You know the last quarterback that won the Giants playoff game? Eli Manning fucking 12 years ago. Okay? So, of course, Giants fans were chanting for Daniel Jones during the Colts game when he dropped 33 points on them because he took them to the playoffs.
I stand as one of few who never said it, never wanted it, never said it. I said, give him the year, give him the 50. Here we are, right? Here we are.
But you know what? Leonard Williams' contract is coming off the books. Adoree Jackson's contract's coming off the books. Saquon's contract's coming off the books. The Giants are going to have cap space. They're going to have a high draft pick again. Build this team. Just build it. Keep Daniel Jones as your bridge starter. You know you can win football games with him with his legs. They don't use his legs enough. They're not using him this year like they did last year. it's very apparent that they're not using him the same this year as they were last year. And I don't know if that's because the offensive line is on a historically bad pace. They're on pace to shatter the sack records. So Daniel Jones can't even operate like a normal quarterback because, like Dan pointed out last week, he has 1.7 seconds to make a decision. How do you even do that?
You can't.
So,
there's nothing you can do.
For the straight, Zach, you are 100% correct. I think in terms of the Giants having a stopgap quarterback in their rebuild, Daniel Jones is their best option right now.
Yeah, because you know what? I'll take him over Mac Jones. I'll take him over Desmond Ridder. I'll take him over a couple other guys in the league still right now.
And with no offensive line,
I'll take him over Jordan Love.
He at least gives them a shot because he is mobile. But I think we can all agree now at this point.
I'll take him over Baby Hands.
He is not. Fact. He is not. He's not the guy. He's not. No. He is not. He is not the type of quarterback that is going to lead your team solely on his shoulders. He needs to have
and you know what?
System around him. And Dable, I think
you need pieces.
I think you're right. You're seeing they caught fire at the right time, and in adversity now, he's on the sideline throwing fucking iPads and huffing and puffing with that little bubblehead that he has.
I'm so sick of him already. I'm so sick of it. I don't know how you could watch this team and go, coaching is not an issue. It's such a massive issue. It's the biggest issue. They're not ready to play. They're never ready to play. They haven't been ready to play one game. They've had 2 good quarters of football, and that was against the Cardinals, where Daniel Jones somehow, some way beat them up in one half. And we don't know how that happened because clearly that's an aberration. But clearly that goes to show what you can do with him. That's at least what you can do. Is he going to win you a Super Bowl? No, he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. But you can win and be competitive with Daniel Jones as your quarterback. There's plenty of evidence to prove that. But you cannot do anything when you're on pace to give up 137 sacks this year. It's just not possible because now, like Ray, you actually said it perfectly last week. Jalen Hyatt, who's a really good player, they can't use him because the line can't protect Jones long enough. Because that guy is supposed to take the top off of defense. Here, run 20 miles an hour straight and blow the cornerback off the release. But you know what? That takes 3 seconds to do. 3.2 seconds actually on average for your player to fucking go all the way down. When Daniel Jones has half of that, he's getting killed every time. Now, yes, I concede to you in a way that Daniel Jones is not the answer. But I will fight to the bitter end that he is not the main problem. And the main problem right now is coaching.
Okay, so we can agree on that. I mean, I don't think Daniel Jones is the main problem right now. I don't think it's coaching. I think we're absurd to say it is not the O-line. O-line play.
The O-line.
From everything you just said.
Fire the O-line coach.
Problem.
Fire him now.
Yes, 100%.
Now. How does he 100%. Have a job? We have to move on. I can't do it anymore.
Take a deep breath. It's all going to be okay.
You all enjoyed that.
I did.
Thoroughly.
I'm glad you did. Because you know what, Ray? I love you so much, and I decided to get in that ridiculous rant I had. I gave you a bunch of credit, but then also just was like, nope, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah, how dare you insult me to say I shouldn't even watch football anymore?
I was just so shocked that you could possibly say
he had a blackout.
Yeah, you must have had a blackout last fucking podcast for you to just outright say that Jones is the main problem of the team, because you retracted that today and said the O-line is the worst problem. So I obviously did something right in this little rant. So
you did.
Good. All things are created.
I'm upset that my name tag doesn't say I hate Danny Jones right now.
Oh,
and it's because I'm on my iPad tonight because my laptop charger is in New Jersey, and I will have creative names for the rest of the football week, and next week's is gonna be
good. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Giants to lose 60-0 on Sunday Night Football, where we have another lovely display of the bald-headed fucking prospector from Rudolph and the Red-Nosed Reindeer fucking telling me that they weren't coached well enough, and it's my fault. Fucking unbelievable. Fucking pile of shit.
keep it moving, kiddo.
Next, we had Bengals at Cardinals. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have come alive. Only took them about 5 weeks, but Jamar Chase, after scolding everyone in the locker room, going, "I'm always open, man. I'm always fucking open." 3 touchdowns, 150-something yards. Joe Burrow went into Arizona, and the Bengals got a big win against the Cardinals. Joshua Dobbs just couldn't get it done. Cardinals are kind of coming back down to earth a little bit here, but Joe Burrow, looks like he's waking up a little bit.
So now we can move on to other things. After we just, went to the Giants. Now we can
I just lost 2 years of my life doing that.
Now I can refill my heart because seeing Joe Burrow back and Jamar Chase catching not 1, not 2, but 3. Count them. 1, 2, 3. 3 tuds on the day. Ooh, I love it. Big thing, right? So Joe Burrow comes in saying, this is the best I felt all year. Shocker, week 5, right? Oh my goodness. We are in that fucking realm of the after preseason football where you could have been coming off the IR fucking healthy. Comes in and he says, it's the best I've felt. Imagine fucking that, right? But like Dano caught on a few weeks ago saying that he couldn't step into the pocket and he couldn't do it. Well, guess what we saw this week? Stepping into the pocket, the most accurate passer in football, was doing what he does, finding fucking open receivers. Jamar Chase was indeed always open because it was fucking apparent on this game. And there was just no answer. There was no answer. He was just piecing them up and carving it out. And his confidence and that entire team's confidence just went fucking through the roof, right?
Yep.
Consistency, will it happen again? Time will tell. But T Higgins is missing. I think Tyler Boyd can make that a maintainable role to fulfill that, but we'll see. Where was Joe Mixon? Because that's a question that needs to be answered.
He's been very meh this year.
Yeah, meh.
I mean, Jamar Chase was due, right? No T. Higgins. It's time for Joe Burrow to start slinging it. And he did in a big way. This was the perfect opportunity for them to get back on track against the Cardinals, who they're not competitive. I mean, they hang in games, but Josh Dobbs had a shit game. And if he has a shit game, that team goes downhill real fast, especially James Conner. He's just went on the IR with, was it knee or ankle?
Knee.
I believe it was a knee.
Knee. So, yeah, he's out at least 4 weeks. That team, he's the best player on that team outside of maybe Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown has had a pretty good go at it in the one role. So, yeah, I agree with you, Ray. This would have been the opportune time to bring Burrow back to let him cool off and fucking heal up, but that earning that top dollar dog money, so he has to play every snap of football in a prove it role. But they're back. If he stays healthy, they're back.
Yeah, most definitely. Next, Eagles Rams in Los Angeles. The Eagles they're doing what they've been doing all year. They're winning ugly. They won 23-14. The brotherly shove, undefeated once again. They're 5-0. I can't stand them. They know how to draft offensive linemen. We don't. Fucking whatever.
The Eagles stay grinding. The brotherly shove, the tush push, however you want to slice it and dice it,
Fuck them.
in Philadelphia is undefeated. And if they keep this up, it's going to be the clash of the Titans with the Eagles and the 49ers in the NFC Championship. And we shall see which team is left standing. Jalen Carter is making everybody know that he was the best player, hands down, in this draft. You pass on me, and I'm going to fucking shove it down your throat. And that defense is just elite. Elite. The Rams are not a slouch team this year. They just shipped off Van Jefferson, who's a solid 3 receiver, because couldn't get reps on this team. You got Cooper Kupp back, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell. That's a sick trio right there. And then Kyron Williams, unsung hero in the backfield. That team is kind of nasty. But I mean, it was a grinded out game, and Philly did just enough to win. And here we are. We're talking undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, Philly definitely has one of the best O-lines in football. And as we've just talked about, in the past 2 analyzations, is that your O-line dictates your football play. And Philly's going to keep doing what they do. And I think Zack said it best right there. They're winning ugly. They're not blowing people out. They're I don't know if they're playing down to competition or whatever it is, but you can see they're working cakes out every week. Every week they keep working on things. And, they find a way to win. And as far as the Rams go, yeah, they're a gritty team. I mean, they were supposed to suck, and they've made literally they've grown flowers out of shit, because they have good pieces all around. Like, yeah, they said fuck them picks, but I wouldn't put them as Super Bowl contenders right now. But watch them be a wild card team, and when you have a quarterback like Stafford, who has a ring, who's been around, and can lead his team to win games when it's down and out and the fucking pressure's on, that's a huge difference maker. And but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I mean, book it, NFC Championship, Eagles, Niners, one of those teams goes to the Super Bowl, and frankly, I think wins it. If you're a betting man right now, I'm sure you can get Eagles for like plus 1,200 or fucking, a good odds to get a nice little bet. But fun teams to watch for sure.
Also, shout out to fellow listener, Philadelphia Eagles fan Mike Rizzo. The Metamucil and the orange Gatorade is a phenomenal choice, by the way.
Next, we had Jets Broncos, the Nathaniel Hackett revenge game. Jets win 31-21 because the Broncos are completely abysmal. Russell Wilson blows the game. That's another quarterback I wouldn't have over Daniel Jones. The Denver defense is just non-existent. Breece Hall ran wild after his snap count was lifted. Saleh has that team ready to play. Must be nice. And they got revenge on Sean Payton for his idiotic, stupid, arrogant comments. And I hope the Denver Broncos lose every fucking game for the rest of the year. And they could go ahead and draft Caleb Williams for all I fucking care. Because Sean Payton is an overrated head coach, and his career was made because of Drew Brees. There, I said it.
Boom. He's spitting facts right there. And there's no one on this podcast or on this planet that takes more joy in the Denver Broncos loss than this guy right here. So I've been saying it, and I'll continue to say it. Russ is cooked. That team's trash. On to the next one. Jets, huge win. I mean, Breece Hall took the governor off, and he just shifted into the next gear and just ran wild. Dalvin Cook is toast. So every fantasy football league boop, 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 start dropping him because it's Brees Hall's game and he's here to stay. Jets defense fucking wins it. That was an amazing strip and fucking just scoop touchdown. So huge win for Hackett. I love that Aaron Rodgers got on Twitter and was working hashtags for the dub, hashtag Hackett. So shout out to him. Yeah, that's all I got on this one. Huge win for the Jets, staying alive. We'll see if Rodgers can make it back.
Considering you dropped him from your fantasy team finally today, I think we all know it's over for Aaron coming back this year. The Jets, I mean, listen, this was the shit bowl, right? This is Denver versus the Jets. Unless you're a diehard fucking fan, you're not watching this. It was literally the bar I was at. It was on one TV with two Jets fans kind of just huddled around it like a campfire, like, ooh, yay. No one else gave a fuck about that game. I do like that Hackett won it, from an OC perspective and got a little fuck you to Peyton and Denver. But, Denver is just bottom feeders, right?
They're terrible.
Free Jerry Jeudy and free Cortland Sutton because they deserve better.
I'll take them.
Yeah, please. Imagine, I forgot to say this about the Rams. Imagine being such a wide receiver rich team where a guy like Van Jefferson, you ship off to a fucking Atlanta. If I'm Van Jefferson, I'm looking back going, what did I do to you? What did I do? Why do I deserve this? Desmond Ridder? Ew.
Ridder.
Come on. It's just crazy. It's crazy to me.
Right.
Jerry deserves better.
Next was Chiefs Vikings in Minnesota. Close game. But once the Chiefs won, but I'm detecting a little pattern here with the Chiefs, and Pete's very active on Twitter with me. There's a lot of people pointing out the favoritism of refereeing for the Chiefs, and there's a lot of examples on right now.
Put your helmet on.
Yeah, it's because it's very clear to me and a lot of people that are watching this sport and a lot of people that cover the sport. The Chiefs are very much favorited by the league, by the NFL, by these refs because of this whole Taylor Swift hype now. They're trying to do everything they can to get this team to win because they are consistently not called for penalties that should be called. They're consistently the other team gets fucking ticky-tack fouls all the time. Again, it's like it happened with the Jets when Mahomes was scrambling for the 30 yards and his offensive line had fucking Jermaine Johnson in a fucking WWE fucking sleeper hold on the line. It's getting a little out of control because there was a blatant call in the end zone that should have been in the Vikings' favor. The player took his helmet off, which should have been an automatic 15-yard penalty for every other team. But the ref said, put your helmet back on, buddy. Yeah, just put your helmet on. Put your helmet on. So, you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of the fucking Chiefs because now they're riding this whole Swifty fucking era, and I can't fucking stand this. Now the NFL is doing everything they can to lean into this whole Swifty crowd to make sure that they win every fucking week, and I'm sick and tired of it. Fuck this team. Whatever. They beat the Vikings. The Vikings fucking suck anyway, but you know what? It's another one of these games where they got bailed out because they got bailed out against the Jets. The Jets should have won that game. The rest bailed them out, and I will fucking die on that hill for the other Jets fans that are around. So congratulations, you beat the Vikings, whatever.
Yeah, you even notice they have the sticky tape and the marker on the suite that says Tay-Tay, so they know what
they're doing.
Where to scan the camera.
Not
to go.
dumb. We see it, folks.
But to your point about the penalties, it does kind of feel like I remember when Brady was in peak New England and they got every call under the sun. And this is kind of reminiscent of that. You're getting the Mahomes treatment.
Yep.
When you're the face of football and the face of the franchise, you're gonna get calls, but I mean, the put your helmet on was kind of just out of control for me. But the Chiefs squeaked away with another win. They don't look good. They
The
are
Chiefs
not
don't look good. They're not the favorite in the
a
AFC.
crisp team on offense. They have no identity outside of Travis Kelce. And guess what? Big Dog went down with an ankle, which he practiced today. So I think he's going to wind up gutting it out. But it's kind of, I think Kelsey's reached that Gronk territory where all the punishment to his body is catching up to him, and he's looking kind of human this year.
He's the same age as Gronk. He's 34 now.
And you're not like last year and the year before that, he's just putting up stupid wide receiver astronomical numbers for a tight end. And he's coming back down to earth on this year. And I think the injury bug is catching up with him. So that's something to watch. They need to find a new identity outside of Travis Kelce because they don't have a number one wide receiver. They don't have a number two wide receiver. But I did see that the Jets were looking to shop Mecole Hardman. I wouldn't be surprised if KC ring brings in a familiar face to for Mahomes to stretch the field. I would not be surprised about that. But Chiefs are going to Chief. They grind out these early season wins that don't look pretty, and then somehow at the end of the year, it's just they're clicking in a higher gear. So I'm not going to be surprised if they really catch on fire and they start fucking slinging because Mahomes is still the best quarterback on this planet. We talked about it last week that just his awareness and presence on the field is one of one, and he's a game changer. On the other side of the ball, Minnesota, heartbreaking loss. They lose Justin Jefferson, IR. This could be the beginning of the end because we talked about this when we were getting ready to go on the air, that this is a snowball effect. Jefferson's out for 4 weeks. Minnesota keeps losing. What is the urgency to bring him back after the 4 weeks? That's an investment on both ends because Jefferson's not going to want to play because he's due a contract. Minnesota's not going to want to risk injuring him. So buckle up for a long ride. I don't know if they move Kirk Cousins. I don't see them making some crazy trade deadline deal and shipping him out of there if things really hit fucking south, because I think wherever Kirk Cousins goes, I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Jefferson finds himself there one way or another once he hits free agency. A lot to watch in Minnesota.
Yeah, and what's the incentive for him to come back? Really, there is none. He could turn around and be like, "Nah, I'm going to sit out." And that's Jay Jetta we're talking about there. But yeah, it's very interesting to say. I mean, but if you're Minnesota and you are giving up on Kirk, like where do you start? Like, is that rebuild time? Like, it's time to. I mean, you're at like this weird point where you could rattle off a couple wins here coming up and be a 500 team again, but are you going to make it to the playoffs? Is it worth it, or is it worth it just tear it down and start building equity? As far as the Chiefs go, I mean, it's amazing to me how every year I look at this team on paper and I go, man, they're going to stink this year, and they just don't. I mean, everybody held their breath when Mr. Pfizer fucking rolled his ankle on the field, and I don't want to see him sit down for a week because I want to see another Kelsey-less week and what Mahomes and that team does without him on the field, because I really think the key to the successful key to that team is Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes on the field together playing football. I think when that time comes to an end, I think you see a very different result and a very different team. I'm not even going to touch on the officiating because I think you guys killed it. It's bullshit. It's definitely favoritism, and it is what it is.
Hate to see it.
Hate to
Sunday night foosball. Cowboys, 49ers. Time for something all of us to cherish in. Take it all in. All of it.
How about them Cowboys?
The 49ers beat the ever-loving shit out of the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott and the boys got exposed. They are frauds. And Dak Prescott once again proved that he is not the guy to take the Cowboys to the promised land when he's had all this talent around him for so long. It's time for them. They're not going to pay him. It's time for them to move on, either draft a quarterback or do something or let Trey Lance see what he can do there, because they're not winning it. They're not better than the 49ers, clearly. They're not better than Philadelphia. I don't really know how good they are, because all they've done is beat up on the Giants, Jets, and then lose to the Cardinals, and then beat up on the Patriots. So we don't even know if they're any good. I mean, the Giants scored more points against the 49ers. So, I mean, what does that tell you? So
Yes.
it's just Daniel Jones did more against the 49ers with less than Dak Prescott did, by the way. And that's not even me being an asshole about it. That's me being objective. The points and the stats back it up.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
Listen to all those idiots with little stars right here and on their fucking hats, and every year, oh, the fucking Cowboys, the Cowboys are so fucking good.
Terrible.
How's it feel to be the most fraudulent franchise in NFL history? Fraudulent.
The most overhyped team and overhyped franchise ever, and they haven't won dick.
Every year. Oh, the Cowboys are so good. Number one defense? Yeah, you have the number one defense? Really?
Sure thing, folks.
Brock Purdy just went out there and made it look fucking easy. The kid didn't even break a sweat out there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to my one thing. Christian McCaffrey is the best offensive football player on the planet. We talk about one. We talk about he's a dog. He's him. A dog.
He's him.
Dude just scores touchdown. He's a touchdown fucking machine. He's like, oh, here's a touchdown. There's a touchdown. Oh, last week was a touchdown. Week before that was a touchdown. He's
tied Jerry Rice's franchise record for consecutive games with a touchdown.
Anytime touchdown score, book it right now. Just book it.
Take your life savings and just put it on.
Just book it. I saw there was some fucking crazy stat, and it was like if you put if you put $100 when he first scored his $10, you would be at like $1 million right now
if you doubled up every time. If you took what you won and bet that every week since he came, like every week that he's played
in San Francisco.
Before that.
No. It's been like since week 12 of last year.
Yeah, I think you're right. 12. No, I think it's even longer than that. I think it's like 16 weeks in a row.
He's scored.
So crazy.
Scored.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is one of the best. He's one of the best players we will ever witness in our lifetimes as a football. There was this crazy thing about him and his Bruce Lee, and like he basically uses Bruce Lee as a role model as to how he plays football, and whatever he's smelling or whatever that juice he's sipping on, he needs to pass around to a couple people because it's working. The shit works, and I mean the dude is incredible. Like this is a guy with an injury history too. Like everybody knows like, oh, you're just waiting for Chris McCaffrey to get injured. Well, when he ain't injured, the motherfucker produces. So
I'm waiting. But on this note, the San Francisco 49ers are the best team in football.
They are the best. They are.
Bottom,
I think
it's just how they move is just a well-oiled machine, and no one can touch them.
it's
Nobody.
not another. It's another level of efficiency.
Coaching, John Lynch is doing fucking phenomenal things over there. Just the whole picture. Think about this. For a team that went out and they traded an embarrassment of riches to trade for Trey Lance, and then to admit that they fucked up and shipped him off for dirt, and they got extensions and they are cooking. That team is scary, and it's almost a guarantee. I know we said that they're definitely a lock for the NFC Championship. They got to book them for the Super Bowl.
They might be a lock for the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. The Eagles are not better than this team. They're just not. They are not better than the 49ers.
Imagine if Brock Purdy doesn't blow his elbow out last year.
The Eagles don't win that game. I'm telling you, I will die on that hill. If Brock Purdy was healthy in that game, they win that game. The Eagles are not better than the 49ers, and we're going to find out week 13.
Wait.
The Monday night game, Packers-Raiders. Raiders won a close one. Jordan Love stinks. It's official, folks. Jordan Love, 4 years sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, just did not work out. It is Victory Tuesday for the Raiders. Marcus Peters with a game-saving horse collar tackle on Christian Watson.
Best penalty ever.
The best penalty ever. But yeah, I mean, the Raiders eked out a win. The Packers are just not good. They were missing a lot of pieces, but I still don't think that Jordan Love is it, man. They're going to have to go shopping for another quarterback.
I mean, I'll jump to Green Bay side of the ball first. Jordan Love is essentially a rookie. I understand that he sat for 4 years underneath the Aaron Rodgers learning tree, so we're all expecting him just to step up day one, like Aaron Rodgers did from under Brett Favre. It's over expectations, I feel like. I mean, he does look lost on the field right now. He makes some boneheaded plays. And it takes him a long time to get that offense going. This is the second week in a row where it was well into the second half before that big strike to Watson and that game-saving horse collar tackle. I think they're missing Aaron Jones greatly on that offense. I mean, they tried to hammer the ball with AJ Dillon, and I mean, he was gaining some chunks, but it was very minimal in the grand scheme of things. Now, on to the other side, the Las Vegas Raiders. I predicted that they were going to win this game. However, the offense is anemic. They have not posted over 20 points at all this year. Josh McDaniels is a fraud as a head coach. His play calling is fucking terrible. I don't know if Jimmy G is still getting comfortable with McDaniels' play calling, because Jimmy G looks like a scared child behind the offensive line trying to make decisions. Devontae Adams only had 4 fucking targets. Devontae Adams, in a revenge game that should have been against Green Bay, only had 4 fucking targets. McDaniel's play calling just baffles me at times. There's a 4th and 1 where they opted for a 50-yard field goal and Carlson missed it. Carlson's usually a lock from 50, but analytics says go for the fucking first down, and I agree with that. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they can build on this, but the offense looks anemic right now.
They need a quarterback.
Yeah, well,
they need a quarterback.
I would like to say throw Aiden O'Connell back out there and just see what you got with the rookie. You can't really hurt. We have a soft schedule right now where the teams that we're we're coming up against, we should win football games. I mean, we're playing the Patriots this week. That's should be a winnable game. We got the Bears on deck. Detroit's probably a loss. Then we got the Giants and the Jets. So you're looking at potentially you should win possibly 4 out of those 5. So I don't know. I saw this meme and it was the triangle of the Raiders and it was like, oh, optimism here, you're here, and then it's up. They disappointed you again. So we'll see. My expectations are tempered, but huge win at home. Fire Josh McDaniels if anybody. Also, Mark Davis, you are disgusting. You're a disgusting human. Fucking billionaire. You're like 60 years old, 70 years old. I don't know how old you are. Walking around with a 24-year-old Instagram model on your arm. Dude, you're disgusting.
Who cares?
Tell the franchise.
All right, let's move on to our week 6 picks. We got Thursday Night Football, Broncos, Chiefs. The Broncos haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2015. I'm taking the Chiefs at home. Pretty easy.
Yeah, and it ain't gonna change in this year. Chiefs.
Broncos country. Let's ride. But that ride is right off a cliff. Mahomes by 40.
Yeah, that game's not going to be close.
It's gonna be ugly.
Good. Next is Ravens Titans. This one was kind of hard for me to pick because the Titans are always well coached and they come to play every Sunday. Must be nice. I'm going to take the Ravens though. I think they have a bit of a bounce back game from the shock of being in the Steel City because I still don't think the Titans are anything special. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
Derrick Henry is -5 yards, 3 fumbles. He retires after this game. Baltimore.
Lord.
I'm going Titans on this one. I fucking it bit me in the ass picking the Ravens last week, and I see a lot of their same problems coming up and happening again this week. I think they come out to a little bit of a lead. I think the Titans rein it in and play Titans football. Tajay Spears and fucking Derrick Henry just run the ball and Titans.
Next, we have Panthers versus Dolphins. Taking the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, Tua, Mike McDaniels. They're just going to cook. They're going to cook against the Panthers. The Panthers are going to go to 0-6.
Yeah, lock it in. Dolphins in the over, easy.
Yeah.
Party in the city where the heat is on.
Next, Saints Texans in Houston. I'm picking the Texans. This is my upset of the week. I know the Saints are coming in after squashing the Patriots. The Saints do have more weapons and they just have a better defense, better team. But I'm taking CJ Stroud and the young team that DeMeco Ryans has fired up every single week. So I'm taking the Texans as my upset of the week.
Before I start, the Dolphins was my lock of the week. Where is this game being played?
Houston.
It's in Houston?
Yep.
Yeah, Pete, I'll come back.
Saints away.
Yeah, I'm going to back that up. Saints too.
Interesting. Commanders versus Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons. Desmond Ridder has not been beaten at home yet. So even though he's worse,
I love this stat.
Even though he's worse than doggy poop.
Poo-poo, caca poo-poo.
Caca poo-poo. I'm going to take the Falcons.
Desmond Ridder for sure at home. Lock it down. And also that above head camera. Bijan Robinson is going to do some like 6 spin move this week on it.
In my upset of the week, the Washington Commanders end the streak. Desmond Ridder finally loses at home. It's over. It's a wrap. Done. Chase Young has a great game and puts Desmond Ridder on his back. I think Bijan also has a great game. But give me the Commanders and the upset.
Pretty damn good right there. Colts Jaguars in Jacksonville. It's Gardner Minshew at the helm. And hopefully maybe this is another week of Jonathan Taylor to increase his workload, but I'm gonna take Jacksonville at home here. They just beat up on the Bills, so I'm riding pretty high with them right now. I think they kind of take care of business and they beat the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts just because Jacksonville is going to have like 5 fans in the stadium, and Jonathan Taylor is going to get the run and run amok. He is going to put up 150-yard rushing, 3-tud game.
Oh, Pete. Yeah, I mean, listen, my brain and my heart are telling two different things here, right? The Jags just broke off 2 great games in London, but now they got to travel back, right? They got to come back to the United States. They got to play in that shithole stadium in Jacksonville. I want to pick – everything on my body tells me to pick Jacksonville to beat the Colts. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Jonathan Taylor has a great game. I think Zach Moss keeps doing what he does. Give me the Colts.
All right. Next we have Seahawks Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have kind of woken up a little bit. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And the Seahawks are coming off a bye. I'm going to take the Bengals here at home.
Nah, I'm going with the Seahawks on this one. Give them a week to prepare for this game. Burrow's going to be come riding high, thinking he's hot shit, and this is going to be a trap game for them. Going Seahawks.
I just want to make it known, Pete literally picked that just to pick against me because he knew I was picking the Bengals. It's not even a question, right? I'll be sitting there on a Sunday with my fucking white Bengals jersey on, rooting on fucking Joe Burr. It's Bengals by a mile.
Vikings Bears in Chicago. I'm going to pick the Bears. I think this is going to be a division win for the Bears. I think the Vikings are cooked without Justin Jefferson. Both teams have really bad defenses. I do think the Vikings have the better coach, but I think the Bears show up, and I think they drop a lot of points again, and I think the Bears win.
Upset pick of the week. Going Bears. Home. Justin Fields, man. We're going 4K. We're going 400 on this piss-poor Minnesota defense. Look for DJ Moore to keep cooking. I'm glad I'm not playing the Oracle in fantasy this week. Someone else has to deal with that smoke, not me this week, but Justin Fields and the Bears.
Yeah, see, I will never pick with Justin Fields because in the battle of 2 shit defenses, the actual quarterback needs to win the game, and that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is going to go out there. He still has Jordan Addison. I think this is the Cam Akers breakout game where I think they turn around, they start using Cam Akers to what his potential really is. A lot of RPOs and opening up the field for Kirk. Give me the Vikes.
Oh, excuse me. 49ers versus Browns. Cleveland coming off the bye. The asshole toucher's got a little shoulder problem now all of a sudden. But it doesn't matter. I'm not picking against 49ers once. So 49ers all the way. I think they beat up on the butthole toucher.
Butthole toucher's not going to play in this game because he touched too many buttholes. They're not going with Dorian Robinson, Thompson, Smith Jr., whatever his name is. I think they're going with somebody else at quarterback. I don't know who it is, but it's not that guy either. 49ers by 6 million.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a closer game than everybody expects. That Cleveland defense is good. Maybe Christian McCaffrey only has 2 touchdowns and 70 yards on the day.
PJ Walker is going to be starting this game for the for the Browns. It's done.
Wow. Yeah, I think you could put Brock Purdy for having a less adequate day than normal, but it's still going to be the 49ers easy. So, Niners.
Next, we have Patriots versus the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders. Patriots are one of the worst teams in football. Josh McDaniels' revenge game against the Patriots. I'm sure he'll still be really, really horrendous, but Jimmy G, Devontae Adams, I think they do just enough to beat up on their old team. If the Raiders lose to the Patriots this game, oh boy.
This is not the Josh McDaniels revenge game. Let's clarify that. It's going to be the Playboy Jimmy revenge game. Raiders take this. Book it.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I want to go Pats because I think Belichick knows McDaniels like the back of his hand. I think he knows how to outcoach him. I will put that on record saying I do believe the Pats have a better chance to win than most people are giving them because of that fact. But from recent performances and Mac Jones doing Matt Jones things, I think Dano said it was Bailey Zappi. But Bailey Zappi isn't even the second string quarterback anymore. It's oh man, I forget his name, but they're screaming for him to be benched for him to give him a shot now. There's so much going on in New England. It's got to be the Raiders. The Raiders do have potential. They have weapons. Josh Jacobs had a great game. Raiders just got to play Raider football, man. It's easy. So
Max Crosby is going to chase whatever quarterback New England carts out there all over the field, and he is going to beat them up on every single play.
That dude is a freak.
Yep. Next is my personal game of the week. Lions-Bucks. I think this game is going to be a whole lot better and closer than people think. But Bucks are coming out of their bye week. I'm going to take the Lions still. I'm going to ride Dan Campbell. I'm going to ride Jared Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown should be back. Jahmyr Gibbs should be back. I think they just are going to be a little too much for the Bucks to handle. And I think I'm just going to go with Detroit.
Gasoline in the veins, 18 cups of coffee. Dan Campbell's got that team motored up. It's a dub. Lions.
Yeah, I also have this as my game of the week. Buccaneers should be healthy after a week off. I think we find out who these guys really are on both sides of the ball. I think it's gonna be a shootout. I think defense and Dan Campbell's defense kind of wraps it in. And Detroit.
Next, Cardinals-Rams, division game. Will probably be closer than we think, but I'm going to take the Rams. Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua. With James Conner going on IR, not much the Cardinals can do. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs is going to be running for his life. Look for this Rams offense to start really clicking. Rams
easy.
Next, we have Eagles versus Jets in MetLife. I'm taking the Eagles. The Jets are 0-12 against the Eagles all time, if I read that stat correctly. And that's not going to change. I'm going to take the Eagles pretty easily over the Jets.
In a game I will be personally attending, I am taking the Birds against Gangrene. Too much green.
Terrible.
Tush push, fly Eagles fly, brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. It's over. 6-0 Eagles.
Sunday Night Football. For some reason, the NFL decided to put the Giants on national television once again. Giants are
at least this is being flexed is beyond me.
Giants versus the Bills. This is my blowout of the week. The Bills are going to drop 60 on this fucking team. We don't even know if Daniel Jones is going to play because he has fucking a neck injury from getting blasted by the 6th sack of the game where he had to come out. So if they trot out Tyrod Taylor on national television, I will fucking turn the television off. I will go downstairs and I will fucking play PlayStation. I would rather do that than watch that. So the Bills win 60-10.
Yeah, the only reason I'm actually going to the Jets-Eagles game is because I want to see some competent football be played on a Sunday. And I'll be probably driving home and then going to pass out after that because I have zero interest in even watching this team. And it's going to be horrendous. So whatever happens, it's Bills. Josh Allen gets right. He has a great game against his fucking dog shit defense. Bills.
Zach, it's an insult that you said that the Giants are going to put 10 points up on the Bills.
Hey, they put 13 up on the Niners.
Also, my blowout of the week. Yeah,
Got to do something.
Bills are going to handle business.
Monday Night Football, Cowboys, Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers. I think after what the Chargers defense showed before the bye, with Khalil Mack getting 6 sacks, I think that kind of carries over. I think the Cowboys are shell-shocked from that game against the 49ers. I'm taking Justin Herbert, Khalil Mack, and Chargers.
I will never, and I mean ever, pick the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers team. So how about them Cowboys?
You're disgusting.
I mean, I kind of have to agree with Pete here, and it's just for a couple of reasons too. As much as I despise those star-wearing idiots, it just comes down to Justin Staley is Brendan Staley, and it's one of the worst coaches in the league. I know Zack just went on a 20-minute rant about Brian Dable, but there is no man on the planet worse than Staley. So it's just bad coaching all around. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback when he wants to be, and he's too inconsistent.
They don't know how to win football games.
Period. They don't. They literally only know how to blow them and lose football games. And the Cowboys, they're fraudulent, but they have so many weapons, so many options. And if Dak actually plays like he should, they win this easy. So give me the Cowboys.
All right. Who is your guys' fantasy player of the week?
Tyreek Hill.
Josh Allen.
All right. So I had a list. I had the Miami wide receivers was on there. And Josh Allen was also on there. Since you both said that, I'm going to go with a wild card on this one. And with no Justin Jefferson, I'm going TJ Hawkinson.
Interesting. I like that one. All right. After losing 2 years of my life talking about my horrific football team.
What about our sneaky pick of the week?
You see, this is what happens. I'm developing Alzheimer's because of so
there's not enough blood back to your brain yet. So
who is your sleeper fantasy player of the week? Thank you.
Well, my back up off of Pete. My sleeper of the week is Jordan Addison because with no Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison gets to show out. Hawk is going to be the number one receiver on that team, so they're going to double cover Hawk. Jordan Addison's going to feast, and that USC receiver core shows what they are.
Sleeper pick, but not really, but kind of. Buffalo defense.
Buffalo Bills first touchdown, defense first touchdown.
Book it.
Sleeper pick for me would have to be, how about Tutu Atwell against the Cardinals?
Tutu.
If you're in a deeper league, like ours, 14 teams.
God, 14 teams. I just want to throw that out there. Is the toughest thing in fantasy sports.
Yep.
A 14-team league.
Barren desert.
But you know what? I got a little trophy for winning said 14-team league. So gotta love it.
I have a little cheerleader trophy for that 14-team league.
Oh, that's just not it.
I have a last and a first place.
He's right. He's right.
But you know what is it? The
What is
fact that my football team, the Las Vegas Raiders, are in second place right now in the AFC West.
Okay. With that, I'm gonna end this here. Thank you guys so much for popping on once again. Thank you for letting me lose life on the national airwaves and on YouTube now. So I'm sure that's going to be a very interesting watch back on YouTube.
Yeah, Justin Fields, if you hear this, throw up a 400 spot for me this weekend.
For Hundo. That would be epic for my fantasy team. I have Fields in one of my leagues, so that would be perfect for me.
Yeah, I hope you tear your ACL this week. Sorry, buddy.
Whoa!
God,
You wishing injury.
fucking ginger
good.
hobo down there in Florida.
You're a hobo.
Troll right now.
Oh God, that's terrible. All right, boys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Peace.
Hurrah, hurrah.
Later.